Seeing you down there moving.
I like the electronic music in that first video.
I know, I do too. Sometimes I just play it over again just to hear the music. That's kind of bad, isn't it? It's like, okay, we're gonna replay something like
we all got to be chair dancing.
Pump it up.
Do my Axl Rose.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do the serpent snake or whatever the hell he does. What's up, Barbara Beckley?
Yeah.
Where are our names? Our names aren't even up here. Come on, man. What's up? What's up? Oh, there you go. I got to know who I am. Who am I speaking with? It's very nice to meet you, Barbara.
Well, very nice to meet you.
I'm Jeff. I'm Jeff. Hefe. You can call me Hefe.
What you said, Hefe?
Hefe. I got you.
Well, okay. I know.
Don't laugh so hard you toot, because if you toot on air, then that'll be there forever.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know that.
Yeah, we all toot. It's okay. Welcome to the Healing Humanity Show, Barbara. How are you tonight?
I am doing wonderful because I have another co-host that's going to be helping me. Yay!
This is my first time doing a podcast, so go easy on me.
Okay. The first rule here is we have to make sure that we are not lying.
How did my nose go?
Yeah, it was like whoosh, 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 whoosh,
yeah.
whoosh.
I'm knocking over my monitor.
I was like your guitars, everything falling.
Yeah. No, I've been doing podcasting for a while.
And see, he's been very, very, not just a while. He's been doing this for, in fact, I get tips from Mr. Rockstar here. So yes.
A little bit.
So Christopher, I know you haven't been on for a while. Kind of, tell a little bit about yourself before we get into our, our past guests that we had on the show, and then we'll go from there.
Sure, I'd love to. Thank you, Barbara. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm known as Christopher Rausch, of course, the No Excuses Coach. I've been a coach, speaker, author for over 20 years. I did that simultaneously while I had a very successful corporate career. And then back in November of 2019, November 7th to be exact, though I just celebrated my 3-year anniversary, me and the company decided to part ways. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to work for anybody else ever again. I'm not going to devote 26 years of my life to one organization, only to walk in one day and have them say, Chris, we don't need you anymore. And so I just decided to take that leap. So I do my coaching and my speaking full time now. I have 2 podcasts. One's called Raw and Unscripted with Christopher Rausch. The other one is called The Unfiltered Experience. And then truth be told, I've got another one coming out pretty soon called The Visioneering Experience, which is an amazing one as well. So yes, I live here in Southern California with my beautiful wife and my son, Jackson, who is about to turn 6 years old. And I was once upon a time a 7th grade homeless dropout who lived in the backseat of a station wagon with 18 cats and 2 dogs, with a mother who had various psychological disorders. And for 4 years of my life, I got to experience a lot of heartache and a lot of tragedy and a lot of turmoil, only to realize that it was all happening for me and not to me. And then as a result of those experiences, I decided to get my stuff together and wound up going back to school, getting my GED, and then ultimately spending 12 years in college to get my master's degree. The same year I bought my first house, and I just love inspiring people. I love Help Heal Humanity, Serena Buffalino, and you, and I'm excited for the show tonight. So thank you for that opportunity, Miss Barbara.
Wow. All that in, I think, in less than under 1 minute.
I do it pretty fast now. I say it differently each time, but I've said it so many times now I could say it pretty succinctly.
I've been trying to I'm like, how do you do that? How do you do that? You got so much energy. That's all.
Yeah. I'm super tired. Like I was telling you before we came on camera, this is the 4th show I've done today in various incarnations. I did a presentation to a college campus this morning. I do virtual presentations as well. And then I was interviewed on another podcast, helping some people out for the Mental Health Warriors podcast. And then my Visioneering 5 podcast. And now I'm on here with you guys, with you.
Whew. Yeah, I just, I can't believe usually I do like maybe 2 or 3 a day, but today I just did one this morning and then one now. So I'm like, thank you. I needed a little break, but you took up the slack.
I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to be here at least once a month, giving Serena a break and jamming with you in conversation. I think the world of you, and I think the world of what you've done for Help Heal Humanity. So if I can be here once a month and share my brilliance, I'm happy to do it.
The heart's pumping. The heart's pumping. Yes. And this is what I love, because we decided, well, you're not just here as a co-host, but you're basically helping me. We're partners in crime with the show, producing it, thinking of ideas, certain ways we can kind of change some things up. And with that said, we work together, but it would be nice to hear from others that's listening and watching our show. Right. Yes. So we are working. Well, I'll talk about that later, but there is a little gift and some things that we're going to be doing for our viewers to just get that insight. So yes. I love how we get together every week, and me and Christopher just kind of just looks and says, okay, what can we do a little bit different, whatever. And Christopher, you want to go through, because starting in January, there's going to be some nuances. So you want to kind of just talk a little bit about that?
The nuances.
Yes.
Refresh my memory what the nuances are. Well, I mean, we're doing the survey right now.
Theme.
Oh, themes. That's right. Yeah. So what we're going to be doing, my brain is fried right now. Fried ice. Yes. No. So what we're going to be doing moving forward and starting January, each month is going to have a particular theme. And what we're going to be doing for you guys is not only bringing you what's going on in the nonprofit sector of the world, what's going on with Help Heal Humanity. Thank you guys for supporting that. But we're also going to be providing some teachable moments. So each month is going to have a theme. And within those shows during that particular month, we're going to be bringing you tidbits of advice that you could be applying in your particular life. So not only are you getting the opportunity to make a tax deductible donation, not only are you getting an opportunity potentially to work with Help Heal Humanity, but also you now have the opportunity to not only potentially win a gift card when you fill out the survey that Barbara's going to be talking about, but we're going to be bringing you life skills as well. So that's something that I'm super passionate about. I do the 2 podcasts every week, so I have no shortage of inspirational moments to share with you guys. And we just want to lift the world up. I mean, that's what we do here. Healing Humanity is all about the fact that we contribute to one another. We raise the vibration. We raise the conscious awareness of what's going on in the world, regardless of who you voted for, the color of your skin, your sexual orientation. We want you guys to be here, and we want to support you because you're supporting us, and that's the reciprocation that we have here when we love you guys. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening, and we'd love to have your input. So please pay attention when Barbara talks about this, because your input matters very much to us. We want to make sure that this show, the value for your time that you're spending with us, is impactful, and you can walk away and say, hey, I learned a couple of things that I can apply in my life, and I was entertained as well.
Yes, definitely. And that's what it's all about. Little entertainment, little awareness, and some ask of donorship. So I'm just going to put it out there, either time or money. And I always say that it doesn't have to be all money. We're not just like money. Yeah. We need people, if you have time, to help. We're here, to serve and to be on, working with the board or working with certain products we have. We are open and so willing to, bring you in, because we know that if you have a heart for it, we have a heart for you to come on in and help us out, right?
Yes, 100%.
I learned something today, real quickly, and then we'll get into our guests. Because I took my every Thursday I have like a coaching session with one of my speaking coaches. It's a lady coach, and it's a group teaching. So she was talking about body language today, and she told me, don't do this because it looks like you're guarding your heart. She said,
don't do what?
And she said, you need to do things like to be open to do this. She said, so if you know Mr. Wonderful on Shark Tank, you see that he's always doing this. And when she said that, I was like, yeah, he does sit there and do this a lot when he's contemplating on when he's going to tell somebody he's not going to help him. So I asked her, I said, well, that to me is more like, I'm not sure if I really trust you. I mean, that's to me, that's the body language doing it like this. But maybe I might go with an idea that you have. And then again, I don't like you. I mean, that's what I feel like this is for. So I told her, I said, I'm going to go with the heart again because I feel more comfortable with that.
You got to do what feels comfortable for you. And what's funny is I was just talking about that. I was telling somebody when I was being interviewed for that podcast, I said, I was the suit and tie speaker doing this.
See?
Because they come out there and they go, ladies and gentlemen, like they put their hands in a little. I'm like, I don't do that stuff. I'm like being me. I'm just gonna roll with it. I'm gonna roll from my heart and just gonna, just bring you the goods. But yeah, body language is super important. I mean, we got to think that 85% of our communication is really body language. What we're saying, how we're responding to somebody. It's huge.
Yeah, what she did say too. She said like 79% is body language when you're speaking, and the other part is best, just tone. How the tone comes out, not so much the words sometimes, but the tone is coming out. And then the other like 5% or whatever is the words. I was like, wow.
True. I'll give everybody a tip right now. I was in corporate for over 26 years, director of operations. And what I would do, because of, I know this stuff. I mean, I studied communications. I was a communications coach for quite some time. And, the thing I would do in a business environment is you lose all sense of understanding when you're sending an email. And we send lots of emails in business, of course. But what I would do if it was something that I knew was sensitive in nature, is I would obviously document it in the email. And then I would call the person and most likely get their extension or get their voicemail. And I would say, hey, I just sent you an email. I just want to let you know, here's my position on it. Here's my perspective on it. I would put some tonality in my voice to let them know that maybe they might read it and go, wow, he is being kind of a jerk, but they can hear my voice and then read the email, or read the email and then hear my voice and go, oh, I get it. So when you're out there in worker land and you're sending emails and correspondence to people, if it's something that's sensitive in nature, pick up the phone and let them know, hey, I just sent you something. I want you to let it know it's not supposed to come across anyway, but heartfelt. And I hope that you feel free to ask me any questions. And that alone, when people would call me back, like, thank you so much, Chris, because I did read that and I was like, what's going on? But because I heard your voice, I was able to tone it down and not have such a reactionary response to it and realize, okay, I'm having a bad day, so I'm taking this in a bad way.
Yeah, you gotta be careful when you're doing emails too, like you say, because your day, whatever day you're having, it can just really, like you said, come out in your emails. So
I've read some emails back a few days later and went, ooh, I was kind of a little sharp tone right there.
I was kind of a BI, blah, blah, blah. I mean, on my end.
I call it DGF. I didn't DGF. I was like,
yep. Oh, that wasn't good.
Yeah.
Now I see why they kind of pissed. But anyway, so let's I want to get into, because we have, just to let everybody know, usually every Thursday we do have another thing on our show, is bringing on another nonprofit organization to give them some spotlight, give them some love. So with the holidays and everything coming, our schedule has been a little bit open. So we're going to be starting back with some newbies at the end of December. But right now, I kind of pulled some like favorite ones that we had, myself and Serena interviewed a few months ago, to kind of get that lighthouse again for them. Because, one time, sometimes it's not enough. Like they say, when you're trying to buy some, how many times you got to touch the prospective client?
Oh, yeah.
7 or 8 times, right?
Yep.
Same as, getting that word out there, that awareness. Sometimes you got to play it over again. Sometimes you got to look at it again. Sometimes you got to review it again. So I'm really glad that I pulled one, and I told Christopher, I said, Christopher, I'm going to pull one of our oldies but goodies. His name is Robert Dabner, and his organization is, and I have it up here right now, VetPark's VTV. And it is a veterans service organization connecting veterans with alternate therapy and soul-focused practitioners that work together to provide complete systems of care for the vets and their family. Now, and there's more, he'll talk about more in the interview, but when it's over with, me and Christopher will be back on, and we're going to talk a little bit about what he talked about, just to get some more, just to kind of an overview of it. And then we're going to tell you the gifts things that I told you about is when you come and you fill out some things that I'm going to talk about a little later. And then we're going to go from there. So we're going to we're going to make our sponsors real happy, real quick. I mean, real quick. And then we're going to bring on the interview that we had like a month ago. So Chris, I'll see you in a little bit. Let them enjoy this.
Let's go.
Can we do it? Can we do it?
Help Heal Humanity is an internationally registered charity mindfully designed to provide the world's most vulnerable communities with access to education, food, support, and love. We build the infrastructure, develop the programming, and foster the global connections necessary to support the charity and future of the people in our project countries. Through unconditional giving, Help Heal Humanity achieves its mission to inspire and love those in need in a compassionate and sustainable way. Our vision is to make conscious giving a widespread global practice through kindness and servitude. Get involved now and be part of our Help Heal Humanity family.
Hello, hello. Thank you, Barbara and Serena, for having me on your show. I'm very honored to be here with you, World Changers, this evening.
Yes, you got it. World Changers. Yes. Well, before we get into talking, because we don't like this as to be like an interview. Me and Serena is not like the interview type style. Mm-hmm. We kind of just have that conversation, and through the conversation, we just get to know you, and we get to just applaud you, and then you get to tell people what you do so they can help you out as well. But I always want to figure out, okay, what made Mr. Robert get into this particular, just world changing what you do? So how did it start off?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It started with my own journey. I think as most true world changers do, starts with something that they struggle with, something that they go through. And so a little bit about me. I am a U.S. veteran, served 9 years in the U.S. Army as a combat medic. From 1998 to 2007. During that time, I deployed 4 times. And also I was able to have a wife and 4 kids during that time. And so there was a lot of good that came out of those 9 years. But during those 9 years, I also saw a lot of bad, a lot of things that really caused me to go inwardly and search myself, search my soul. Why am I here? Am I the one that should be here today? Just did a lot of soul searching. And when I got out of the military in 2007, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. But one of the elders at the church I went to as a kid, he knew me. He called me over and saw I needed something to do. He asked me if I would go to the prisons with him. Started doing that just to kind of tell my story. I found out that inmates and veterans have a lot in common. Unfortunately, there's a lot in the institutionalization. So I was really able to connect with the inmates, but that started me on a journey that led me here. Working with the inmates encouraged me to go back to school. So I went to school myself to get a theology degree with the goal of, becoming a prison chaplain. And so that's the first step in all of this. After leaving the military, going to get an undergraduate degree to become a prison chaplain. During that time, at the end of that 4-year degree, there were no jobs available, but I did intern I interviewed for an internship at a hospital to learn more about hospital chaplaincy. So since one door wasn't open, I saw a door open. I was like, okay, I'm going this direction. So I went and did the internship with hospital chaplaincy, lasted a year. They asked me to stay on their team, asked me if I would join their staff. They would help me get my master's degree. And so I was like, yeah, sure, let's go. And I went to school. They sent me to school in Michigan. I got a Master's of Divinity in Theology. And in 2017, finally, with all my paperwork, I was ready to go work as a hospital chaplain. So they placed me in one of their hospitals right outside of Chicago in Hinsdale. I worked with them for 3 years. And I would say it was great. It was going great. And that's what I always told everyone. But what I wasn't telling everyone was what was going on within me. Outside, I was happy. I was joyful. I was always wanting to be the one that encourages everyone else. But inside, I was dying, and I was just really waiting on that bubble to burst. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. I didn't want to confess, that I'm having something going on within me. And so I just kind of kept it to myself. Started self-medicating with alcohol and other things, and just really struggled at home in the evening for 3 years. And that's what started this. So as I was working at the hospital, unhappy, And it wasn't the hospital, it wasn't the job, it was the grief I continued to see on a day-to-day basis. So I grew up in the hood of Memphis, Tennessee. It wasn't really nice surroundings. It was just grief, pain, hurt every day. 18 years old, I was like, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to the military. I got to deploy. I got to go to a bunch of beautiful places, but I also got to go to a bunch of ugly places. And so I experienced more and more grief. And so as I leave the military and go into the hospital expecting this new life, once again, I found myself in front of more and more grief and pain. And everywhere I looked, the world was just hurting. And so I was like, I need to protect myself. I need to get out of this environment and allow myself to heal. And so in 2020, January of 2020, to be exact, I resigned from that position in the hospital. A lot of people weren't able to understand it, but I knew why I needed to do it. It was for my own mental health, for my own well-being. And during that time, and a little bit before I left the hospital, I began to explore with things that really brought me joy. I had to find them. I didn't know what they were. And I started picking up a camera, taking pictures. I started drawing again. I started writing again. And all those things brought me joy. And the more I started to research, like, why is this helping me? I found out that there was an entirely different world out there called alternative therapies. And there were people that got PhDs in learning how these things help people heal. But that had never been introduced to me in the path that I walked. I walked through every other path I walked through the similar path as every other veteran, meaning I get out, I go to the VA or I go to my local medical facilities, and they'll prescribe you medicine after medicine and talk therapy. Those things help, those things work, but they were never bringing me that joy that taking pictures brought me or drawing brought me. And so I began to just really strategize on how I could bring that to more veterans. How could I introduce more veterans to the world that I had found and rediscovering my joy in just doing something as simple as a kid would do in drawing and taking photos. And the more I learned, the more the world began to like really expand. The more I discovered that there were many things out in the world today that helps people deal with mental health that we aren't being necessarily told about. And so I wanted VetPark to start off as a marketing campaign for alternative therapies, if nothing else. Just letting other veterans know that art heals, writing heals, music heals. And the way I found, because most people wouldn't listen to what I said. And so I went onto Instagram, found veterans that were already doing these things and started promoting them and really built a page for them to spotlight them, encouraging other veterans to maybe give this a try. And if you do become good at it, maybe you can use this for something to feed your family. And so that is it's VetPark's beginning story in a nutshell. And I probably should just stop talking for a little while.
No.
I have so much more to say about it, but I will pause for a moment.
Well, first of all, Robert, and I know Serena's going to say her parts too. Thank you for your service. Thank you for serving and, being a part of the military and helping, so I always commend you for that and everybody else as a vet and still serving. So much kudos. Second, I love to hear the stories. I love to hear the stories that come out that became what you're doing right now, that you've seen that there was an issue. You looked at yourself and then you're like, you know what? There have to be other people dealing with this. And I like how you said you went to, you went and researched and looked around and said, where's my tribe? Where's the people? I know they're out there. I know there's a lot of other people that are dealing with this. And you found it, and then you made an organization to help them. So yes, total honor. Serena, any on your end?
God, I don't even know where to begin.
I know.
Yeah, I'd say most definitely. I feel like we kind of run similar courses in respect to, for me, it was, I suffered in education. So I went in education, and then I worked in jails. I worked in mental health hospitals. So I always worked with at-risk youth and at-risk communities. And I would be the one that would be sitting in the team meetings, and they'd always roll their eyes at me because I would stir the pot. Because as you mentioned earlier, a lot of these therapists and a lot of medicine related to mental health is always a prescription, which drives me insane.
Yes.
it's, go and speak to a therapist, which I do think therapy is important, and I think medications play their role to a certain degree, but alternative medicine and alternative health has always been a major key in my life as well. So I always focus on education, health, and healing, right? And I think regardless, like you said, you grew up in a neighborhood that wasn't very affluent. You saw suffering in your neighborhood. You saw suffering for sure when you were, out deported, out at war, serving. And then even when you come back and you're working in a hospital, you're constantly around suffering and pain and suffering. And so if it isn't up to you to go and figure out ways to be able to still be positive in the suffering, people just don't know what to do, how to act, what to believe. So there's so many different aspects of your story, your journey, who you are, and your organization, which I believe I want to learn more about, focuses more on a holistic approach to healing, right? Yes. And non-alternative medicine, which I'd love to have a conversation with you, because I've done years around the world getting certified in different modalities of healing that are non-traditional, and it's like you said, I had to go and find those. I had to go and search those. They're not readily available. And I think if those were the norm, a lot of people wouldn't be suffering to the degree that they are. So I applaud you for what you're doing, and I want to learn more about what you're doing.
Excellent. Thank you all for your kind words. I want to share one thing that's unique about VetPark as a nonprofit organization is that we are not building ourselves up. It's 5 of us that work together. We aren't building this organization to become a competitor to other nonprofits. I recognize that there are bukus of nonprofits in the veteran space, all wanting to do the same thing. And in doing so, we become competitors. They become competitors for the donor funds. And VetPark doesn't want to enter that game and become a competitor. I'm learning to be a peer support specialist in my 9-to-5 job. And what I learned from that is that there's room for us to walk along together. And so what VetPark is we're building ourselves up to do is to become a source of funding for nonprofits that helps veterans with those alternative therapies. And so there's a nonprofit here in Aurora, Illinois, where I stay. He helps veterans learn how to use a lathe. He does wood turning, called the Shoulders. He does wood turning, and veterans can come in. They can make a pin if they really enjoy it. They can continue to go and work with him and create themselves a stock of pins so that they can sell them by their own machine. And so it's those types of organizations we want to support. We want to be able to fund push funds to them so that they can continue to do what they're doing. We do not want to, again, position ourselves as a competitor of any nonprofit. We want to use a buddy system and help us all bring the healing that's needed, because I think that's what it's really going to take. A lot of unity, a lot of working together, and a lot of individuals like yourself being supported by nonprofits like VetPark in helping veterans get the healing they need.
I love how you said that, Robert, real quickly, because I feel like we all need to learn how to get together and work together, because we're all trying to get to that same, that same goal, the same objective. And a lot of times when we start putting ourselves apart, then, all this like this competitive people in their mind, I'm like, okay, why are we thinking competitive? We're all trying to be world changers. We're all trying to change in different areas. Why don't we just come together? It would be just so awesome. We could all just come together, this big event, and just separate, like, okay, you get this, but let's put this big event together. We all just, come together. I mean, I know that's probably a Disney film that I'm just recreating, but
those films are sometimes based on reality. That would happen.
Thank you, Robert. Because sometimes I do go there. And I tell Serena, like, okay, bro, I just go there and be like, we should just do this. We all need to, But it's just because it's always amazing. I see you and I see Serena and everybody else working towards it, and I'd be like, please support. So yeah, it's definitely good that we can come together and play together and just do what we need to do to make the money, get the help, because I know it's the money part, but there's also helping and having the time to come and help the organization. So it's more than just the money. So a lot of times.
So I guess my question to you in regards to your charity, VetPark, ATV. I might be silly. When I think of an ATV, I think of a four-wheeler going going through the forest. So maybe can you tell me what ATV stands for and exactly?
Yeah. So it's multiple things. I'm a writer. I'm a creative myself. The actual words are alternative therapies for veterans. So VetPark's alternative therapies for veterans. That's the nonprofit. But when the money, when our funds are more, when we have the capacity, I'll say it that way. One of the logos we will use though is an ATV with a veteran on the back. We want them to know that we'll get them to where they need to go, regardless of what it is. One thing I believe, and I say quite often, is that there's more than one way to heal. Some veterans will heal best in the ocean. Some veterans will heal best on mountain climbing. Whatever it might be, we want to be able to be that organization that helps them get there. And so that's the image that I want to come to mind. We are desiring to come to mind, that ATV. We'll get them there.
And so when you say that, I believe, you will offer things that most people do, like, maybe counseling and therapists and psychiatrists and maybe even medicine prescribed by psychiatrists. But I'm thinking you're focusing more on, like you said, the art therapy, music therapy, the creativeness that's within you. I always say there's the physical component, whether it's like you said, you're mountain climbing, you're swimming, doing some component of physical work, getting out, walking. I always say walking in nature is like the best medicine that I've ever been given. It does vary person to person, but again, in my classroom, I did have art therapists come in, music therapists come in. And when I first started doing this, people looked at me like I was absolutely crazy. Again, stirring the pot. What are you doing? And it was just, or even just bringing the kids out into the community instead of the classroom. When you change their environment, when you give them different tools and resources that they didn't even know were available to them, and you show them and you take them out there and you kind of coach them in the beginning, all of a sudden things start to shift in them. They start to feel better. They start to enjoy things that they never enjoyed. They start to learn things about themselves, overcoming fear and all of that stuff. And I think, when you are able to provide those tools and resources, I believe anything and everything is possible, right? The healing journey takes a completely different shift. And when you are able to offer that to people, especially when people don't know about it, these are light bulb moments people have, and for you to be able to give, especially the veterans, this kind of service, I think is incredible. So what, I listed the things that I think you're doing. Did I hit it right? Am I missing things?
Thank you. Those will be a part of the services we provide. Honestly, we operate more as the middleman, as a service provider. So in one case, there's an organization. This is a nonprofit in Chicago. It's not built for the veteran community, but they of course have seats in their programming for the veteran community. It's called Second Story. And so a veteran may come to VetPark, and we do our intake exam, talk to them, just find out really who they are, what they did, what are some things that they liked as a kid. We're not trying to heal them in one day, of course, just really get a sense of who they are and what things may help. And then once we know that, we connect them with organizations that are already up and running. By connect, I mean, we let them know about them. And once they choose an organization they would like to participate with, VetPark reaches out to that organization, lets them know we have a veteran that would like to participate with them, and VetPark will cover whatever that cost is. And so this organization I was thinking of in Chicago is called Second Story. They have classes throughout the year where individuals that have been through traumatic events, no matter the situation, they're able to go to Second Story, take a few classes with some of their storytellers, and they have opportunity to rewrite that traumatic event. And then they provide them with an opportunity to do it in front of a crowd, like storytelling. And so for an organization like that, the veteran would come, we would pay for their seat in that class and just ensure they continue to go to their classes. If there are counselors, there are some alternative therapy practitioners. As she said in my introduction with soul-focused therapy. regardless of what field there may be. If there's a veteran that has interest in thinking about that may be something they would like to participate in, we would connect them, we would cover their costs, and they would be able to participate. Again, I know that that one session with the Reiki, with the Reiki therapist won't potentially change their lives, but it may be something that helps. And the thing that we really want to promote is hope. Perhaps rock climbing with this group did not help, but perhaps going to a CrossFit class may help you. And really what I know is about community. It's about that veteran finding some community they can be a part of. And typically it's that rock climbing, or it's that there's a group. I hope your fans, your audience is okay with this. There are a few groups that helps veterans grow cannabis in legal states. That's a community, and we will refer that veteran to that group for the sake of joining that community, in hopes that they would find their tribe, and then they'll be able to realize that they're not the only ones experiencing or feeling or thinking the thoughts that they've been experiencing and thinking. And just connecting them there automatically lowers their risk of doing something harmful to themselves. And that's what it's really all about, helping veterans get away from the possibility of ever getting to a place of wanting to do something to harm themselves.
Yeah, anything to help in their mental capacity that's going to help them. I feel like you said, like you and Serena have been talking about arts and rock climbing, all that stuff. It gives them, like you said, that hope, and it gives them awareness that something's out there that they can use. Because I wouldn't have knew that unless I met you and Serena. So that's why we love bringing people here, because even though the person doesn't need it, they might know somebody that does. And I always tell people, share the wealth, put it out there. Take this show. I tell people, listen to what Robert and Serena is saying. And if you know somebody that's having a hard time, especially, a veteran that's having a hard time in that area, there's possibilities to give them hope. And there's organizations that are there to help them. So I just honor you again with that. Now, I know you have something coming up October 29th that you're going to talk about.
Yeah, we do. One of the ways we have begun to raise funds, we don't want to be the organization that rely on donations. We have events. And so one of our second events this year is a costumed disc golf event. And what this means is individuals, is October 29th here in Illinois, which is another far west suburbs of Chicago. Individuals are able to come out and just play disc golf. This is a tight-knit community, the disc golf community, in costumes for the sake of raising funds for the organization. And so the event we had in July was a great turnout. Everyone came out. They had fun. It was positive vibes. There wasn't a
My name is Serena Buffalino, and I am the founder of Help Heal Humanity. My career started off as a special education teacher. When my students
there were kids in this world that did not have the right to go to school, inspired them. The concept behind the Haiti School Building Project was a small handful of youth in Toronto would help a small handful of youth here in Haiti. The Haiti School Building Project finally opened up last year, September 2018. It has successfully been running for 7 months now, and what I have seen is nothing shy of beautiful. One person with the support of others can literally transform the planet.
It's going to be a lot of fun. You don't have to be a veteran to participate. And yeah, everyone's invited that is in the area.
Yeah. And I love that. I love, Help Heal Humanity is the same, but I think we're going to be changing in 2023. Up until now, we have raised all of our funds through events, right? And it's so funny because we have thrown some pretty wild parties, and people, you know, when I go to rent the hall or whatnot, and I tell them it's a fundraiser, but like, trust me, we have like DJs, we have live performances, we have, you know, live artists, and we have a fully stocked bar. And they're like, yeah, people don't really drink too much at our events. And I'm like, no, trust me. And then the next day they were like, wow, that was insane. And even everybody, that's what you said, an annual event. Due to COVID, we haven't been able to do one. Definitely next year, I'm going to, you know, redo it, because when people come out and they have a good time and they celebrate, and you don't really make it so much about, you know, yes, you give your speech and you tell people why we're doing what we're doing, but just bringing people together and good people to have fun and to let go. I think it's just, you know, it's missing right now. You know, it's missing a lot. And I think people want to get back to, you know, the events and the celebrations. And what I always say is, like, if you're going to come and be entertained and fed for, like, you know, $50 maximum, you know, where else are you going to go get good food, good vibes, good, you know, good music, and all of that going to charity to help other people, right? So it's always a win-win situation. So everybody has to go to your event. Right? Has to do your event.
Yeah, they must go.
Yeah.
They must go.
Save the location, and is it a cost to get in? And again, they're going to go ahead.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Sorry. Yes, it is a $40 registration fee. Another way we are supporting this is average. It's a normal fee. It's a normal price for a disc golf tournament. But one thing we're doing is grabbing hold of the hand. We are working with another nonprofit, and let me say it that way. Again, we're not coming on the scene as competitors. We're coming on the scene as peers. And so the organization that we have partnered with here is called A Call to Shoulders. And so half of the proceeds that come in now will go to Call to Shoulders for their materials and for their programming. This is the gentleman I spoke about earlier, teaches veterans how to use a lathe to learn woodworking, wood turning. And so with our proceeds from this event, half of it is going to VetPark for what our operations cost, but the other half is going to Call to Shoulders. And this is being done for multiple reasons. One, to help out this nonprofit that's local, but also to help others become aware of our purpose. We aren't here for ourselves. We're here to support these nonprofits. We're advertising to the veterans and to those that support veterans, but our primary clientele is supporting the nonprofits that support those veterans. And so $40 is the cost. There's a registration. There's a QR code on the flyer, which I did not send you all. So I apologize. I can do that this evening. And I would be just happy for anyone that would come out and support in any way. Yes.
Now I was going to say, we'll make sure that we put the links and stuff for this show so people can see. And then for the October 29th, they're interested in coming to support. Now, if they say that people can't make it, or if they're in a different state or whatever, is there a way that they could still maybe give the $40 to, you know, go towards it without?
Yes. And I'm not the best salesman yet. We do have a PayPal account where individuals can provide a donation. And I just looked at the paper. It's info@vetpark.us, and that will connect you directly with our PayPal. And if you just have any other questions or find any other ways that individuals may want to help or support, they can also reach out to info@vetpark.us, and we'll be glad to answer any questions that they may have. One last thing I forgot to include about the event, not only are we supporting another nonprofit, one nonprofit with this, A Call to Shoulders, we're also looking to partner with an additional nonprofit that supports veterans. And we haven't fully gotten their okay, so I'm not going to say their name here, but we are asking individuals that come out to donate a new hat or coat for this winter season for the veteran community. As you all know, Illinois, the Midwest, Chicago, we're going into winter. and it gets ugly around here in the wintertime. And Chicago has one of the highest homeless veteran populations in the U.S. Outside of LA County. And so we are also collecting hats and coats, anything people have lying around that are new that they would like to donate. And so that's an additional thing that we're asking the community to do for us as we have this event.
Well, that is awesome. See, everywhere. See, you're getting on every angle, having some fun, giving some, some money here and there for the cause because you're helping another organization and coats and everything. So you're covering all. That's good.
That's my partner, Jake Alcaraz. I want to make sure I let him know that I'm appreciative of everything he does. He comes with these ideas. He's been the primary pusher of these disc golf events. Is one of his favorite things to do. And we're finding ways to he's a Marine veteran. And so we're finding ways to link our passions for the veteran community with the idea for serving the veteran community and finding ways to make things happen. And so most that costume classic is all him. And so I want to make sure we say thank you to Jake.
Yes, thank you. You said Jake?
Jake Alcaraz, yes.
Thank you, Jake. And see, you have a team, and I'm loving that, where you're all thinking in different areas to help the whole, like I said, objective that you're doing. Now, what we usually do, Robert, is I take myself down. Serena had some issues. I think she's back. But what we usually do is take us down and then give you like 30 seconds just to give you some lasting thing that you want the audience to know. And then we'll come back up and get your contact information again. So I'll be right back.
Okay. Oh, so one thing I want the audience to know is that that there's hope in the world. Many of us have gone through trials and tribulations. I myself was one that once believed that anyone that wasn't a veteran could not possibly suffer as much as I have suffered. And I have since learned that not to be the case. And so I just want to encourage everyone to have some capacity to love or offer grace to those that they interact with on a daily basis, because you don't know or understand or even realize what it is they may be going through. And if this is you, if that is you that's going through your worst moments right now, I just want to encourage you to have hope and know that that another day does come, and it may not be sunny directly the next day, but eventually the sun will shine again. And I just want to encourage everyone to continue to be hopeful and knowing that they can heal and help those that are around you that may be going through something hard right now themselves.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that last final moment and thought. And like I say to everyone, the whole world can change just based on kindness. And I think a lot of people have forgotten just basic kindness and respect. So that was a great way to end it. And yes, let's bring hope to everybody who needs hope and spread love and be kind. And it was an absolute pleasure meeting you, Robert.
Thank you all so much for having me. This was a real honor. I'm looking forward to continue to watch you all grow and to see the way that you all continue to change the world. Thank you for letting me be a part.
And also, Robert, if you know any other organization, because I know you work with a lot of them, because you're that person that's helping everybody, please let them know about the show. We'll bring them on. We want to spotlight more nonprofits, and we're always looking for other nonprofits to come onto the show and just share their life and be that world changer that you are and everybody else. So thank you so much. Please give love to Robert and his organization. There's a lot of things happening that's going on October 29th. You don't have to be there in Illinois. You can still get.
What's up, Miss Barbara Beckley?
We are back. And you know what? I love technology when it works, and I'm not privy of it when it doesn't work right. But
I heard you cursing. Nobody knows. It looks like it's all part of the show.
Yeah. Even you were like in the background, like, is this part of
I'm like, what happened right here?
No. But
hey,
no, but
overall,
it happens. And that's one thing I love about You know, I always say people when I'm doing podcasts and things go kind of wonky or whatever, I don't have no problem saying that because that's part of life, right?
We've all experienced it. We've all experienced having our camera not work, our audio not work, the internet not work. It happens.
Yeah, it happens.
But what an amazing gentleman. I mean, I love his attitude and his perspective and the fact that he's really out there wanting to do things for his fellow veterans and especially for the Black community. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, just for the vets, I mean, you know, all different races. I mean, I'm loving it. How he's really out there and saying, you know, and another thing that was really mentioned a lot through the whole thing, what he's doing because of the mental health that vets are dealing with. He's really using different ways to help them through that. And that's what I'm loving to hear because, you know, mental health is real. And I keep telling people, a long time ago, people was putting it to kind of the side and saying, oh, they'll be, you know, but now it's really, as you notice, Christopher, it's heavy because a lot of people are dealing with it.
Yeah, especially the last couple of years with the pandemic and everything else. I love the fact that we're having these conversations because PTSD is a real situation. And the more that we talk about it and make it normalized that our mental health and our mental wealth is critical for our longevity and for our relationships, you know, personal relationships, for professional relationships, you know, and seeking help and seeking therapy is not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of strength. So I love the power and the conviction that he brings with it. And I love the fact that it's alternative medicine because we all know that doctors practice medicine and we go to the doctor and we tell them what our symptoms are. And what do? They prescribe us pills to deal with the symptom. They don't deal with the root cause. So I love the fact that he's exploring medical alternatives, holistic alternatives like medical cannabis. I use cannabis. I use THC. I use CBD. It's been super huge for me. I've been doing a bunch of research on psilocybin, the main component in mushrooms, and they're finding that after one treatment, like a microdose treatment of psilocybin, that people's depression and their PTSD is nearly erased. So it's pretty crazy. And so I know the federal government is looking at legalizing psilocybin for psychiatric care. And that would be amazing. I mean, I've been on antidepressants before in my life. They don't do anything. They make you apathetic. You know, you lose the spark of life, you know, they kind of dull your senses and everything else. But when you use holistic opportunities, like he was talking about Reiki sessions, or Reiki, however you pronounce it, meditation, plant-based medicines, things of that nature, really looking at what your diet consists of as well. I mean, that's been huge for me. Like I cut out sugar and gluten and wheat. It's amazing how much better mental clarity I have. My gut biomes are better. My mental health is better. So there's so many different opportunities out there. So I love that he's advocating for that.
Yes. And everything you said, Christopher, I mean, if we can get more of that nature type of thing instead of always want to pop a pill every time something's happening. I got a headache, pop a pill. I got a stomachache, pop a pill. And then like you said, it doesn't, my whole body is like, it's not immune for that, you know, and to me, it's a Band-Aid to the root cause of what really should be happening right there.
100%. And the other thing I found out about him, I was doing a little bit of research while we were listening to the interview, and I found out he's actually one county away from where my wife's family lives. So actually, we're going to Naperville, and I noticed that he's in Aurora, which is like I've taken the train there, and that's the station right before that. So I'm going to actually try to see if I can reach out and maybe connect with him. We're going to be there for Christmas, but just a tremendous individual, and I love his story, and I love the fact that, you know, he's just taking it one step at a time, and he's learning as he's going. And I posted his blog on the show comments here, and I just looked at it, and there's some really good, inspiring pieces of writing there. So I love the gentleman.
Yeah, I'll just put it up there again. There you go, bingo. So and I have his information, Christopher, if you want to reach out to him, because you know he wasn't telling you on the show, and you would like to, because you know that would be nice to meet up with him, and that's what I'm talking about, really. Just not just having people on, just saying, okay, I had you on, but if they're really doing something in the world, why can't we just continue on to really get to know each other and help each other out in different ways? So I love how you're thinking about doing that. So great. It was a great I hate to say, I don't like to say interview, a great conversation.
Yep. 100%
with Robert and Serena that day. And like I just let everybody know that, you know, moving forward, we come on every Thursday. And we will be having some other guest spots that we had before, just to kind of bring you to seeing them again. You know, a lot of times some people are like, well, I didn't see that person, or I didn't know you had the organization on. And I'm like, okay, well, looks like I gotta, no problem. We'll just put it back on again. Any way to help the other organizations, we want to give those spotlights too. Right?
Exactly. I mean, they're game changers out there. And I mean, it should be also inspiring for people out there watching and listening to this. Like, I've been thinking about doing a nonprofit, should I? Yeah, go for it. Go take those chances, go take those opportunities, take whatever passion you have in the world that you want to see a solution for, and start an organization and start collaborating with people and start making a difference. Because when you put your head on your pillow at night, and I know for working with Help Heal Humanity for so many years, is that when I lay my head on my pillow at night, I know that my efforts during that day have gone to making this world a better place. And there's no other feeling really, aside from having the love of your family and having great health, that really can make any part of your day any better, to know that you're making a difference in the world by following your passion and trusting your gut. Yeah, I think he's brilliant. His name's Robert.
Yeah, Mr. Robert. Yeah. So I want to, first of all, because I know we got to close out, but first I want to thank you for being my co-host on a regular basis, started today. So every month you're going to see Mr. Christopher the second. This is what, the second Thursday of every month? Yeah. Second.
Something like that.
Second Thursday of every month, you will see this wonderful rock star that I love so much. And I love how we're sharing each other with the Help Heal Humanity. And, because we're both on the board.
Yeah.
And, we just wanted to make sure that the awareness is out there. You understand what the organization's about. And then, like I said, helping others. And that's what, it's awareness. If you can help out. And I always say, donate to helps. That's just to remind people. So I want to real quickly, before we sign off, I did say I have a thing that what we're doing and moving forward. So before we were mentioning about, we want to get your feedback about the show. We want to get your ideas. So Mr. Christopher created, and I'm giving him all the kudos because he did create this wonderful small survey, not that many questions. We're going to put it out there, and I'm going to put it out there right now. Just put it here. It's a bit.ly HHH survey, real easy to put in. You can pull it up. You'll see some questions that we have for you about, what do you want to see on the show, or what's kind of nice that you're looking at on the show, and what's kind of things that you kind of like, and that's okay, because we want to always give what the value to you that's going to help you watch the show. Because it doesn't make sense to have a show and it's not giving value. You're like, whatever. I'm not watching this, so and we always say that, right? Because for all of our podcasts, not just HHH. So now the thing is, if you fill it out, you'll be put in, I always say it's not a raffle, but put in a drawing. You'll be put in a drawing, and we will be pulling names monthly. And if your name gets picked, you will get a $50 gift card. Yay. And I'm not picking from no different stores. It's just $50 cash gift card.
There you go.
We're not trying to figure out, okay, if you like, certain Target or whatever. No, you deal with the $50. But the nice thing about this too, is we're going to match up the Diamond Factor Experience Media is going to match $50 with your $50 that you're going to get as a gift card. Goes to HHH. So
you're awesome.
You'll be helping. Your name gets picked. You'll be in lights. We'll put you, and if you want to come on, that's another thing. If you see that if you want to come onto the show and just hang with us, that'd be wonderful. And then we'll get you that $50 gift card, and we're also helping Help Humanity with the other $50 for them. So how's that sound, Christopher?
You have an amazing heart, my sister. Love it, love it, love it. And we want your feedback more than anything. We definitely want your feedback, because this is a conversation with you guys. This is not a show. We want to participate with you, know what you're thinking, and cater this to be effective for you, so that ultimately at the end of the day, at the end of the episode, you're like, oh my God, I got to go share this out on social media. I want people to know about this organization. I want people to know about Serena, for Barbara, and Help Heal Humanity. Because the world needs us right now. The world needs you right now. The world needs me right now more than ever. We got so much chaos and struggle going on that if we can all do what we can financially or physically, if you have something that you like to raise funds with, whatever, like he's doing disc golf, something you can do, let us know. And we'd love to have you a part of that or part of the organization, and also help promote it for you. So please get in touch with us. Let us know what's going on. And we just love and appreciate you for being here every single week with us.
Yes, yes, yes. So with that, any last thoughts that you want to give, Christopher, to the audience? before we sign?
Last thoughts. My last thought is really this: is have love and self-compassion for yourself. You know, one of the biggest things that I see in my coaching career and the people that I work with is they have a difficulty in loving themselves. And if you have a difficulty in loving yourself, you're going to have a difficult time taking care of yourself. And if you have a difficult time taking care of yourself, you're not going to be effective for everybody in your life that you love. So when you burn yourself out, you're not giving the rest of your family the best of you. So as crazy as it sounds, I want you to go out there and give yourself some love, take care of yourself, get some exercise, get some hydration, get some nutrition, get some vitamin D, eliminate some of the things you're tolerating in your life, and just go out there and rock it and be the best you could possibly be for yourself and your family and the world, because we need you.
Oh, with that, you know what? I don't have nothing else to say. We'll just see you next Thursday. Bye.
We'll see you next Thursday. Goodbye. Thank you, guys.
For the past 5 years, Help Heal Humanity has successfully run an elementary school in Canaan, Haiti. Due to COVID-19, the political unrest, and the recent earthquakes, food is scarce. The students attending our program are coming to school starving, and therefore causing a disruption in their academic goals. We need your help, now more than ever, to provide these students with the nourishment they need to continue their education. Our goal is to raise $100,000 so we can feed 100 kids lunch daily and send them to school in the upcoming year. Thank you for your support.